We know what you thought when you looked at the screenshot. We know the cheap indie horror games made on the back of your knees have everyone sick of them. But don't be fooled. Fate is so much more than that. Fans of unusual horror games have long taken in the pencil. A lone developer, known under the nickname Adolf, has been developing his dream project for over 5 years, and presented the first playable build back in 2017. Combining angular pixel graphic with ultra-smooth animation, he frightened many players back then with original monster design and vigorous genre techniques. In addition, the game told a very intriguing mystical story about demons and ghosts. The full-fledged release came in the time of Halloween last year. The storyline has reached its logical conclusion, and the amount of content has grown to about 3 times its original size. And let Fate at first glance can still be taken for some low-budget development from the mid-80s. On the tune, it feels surprisingly fresh in 2022. Unholy Trinity in the Sep 2 is mentioned for a reason. The release is a collection of 3 short games, united by common themes, characters and plot. In the midst is 184, a period when a Western society was particularly feared of the devil. Our hero is a middle-aged Catholic priest, John Ward, who once had the chance to participate in an exorcism right on the gear from a provincial family. The young person suddenly began to behave strangely, to speak with an alien voice, move objects. Who watch Exorcising Devil will immediately understand what's going on here. In the company of an experienced mentor, John goes to the case, but of course everything does not according to plan, and the consequences have to deal with the player. Demonic entities creep into the human world. Pulling the string of mysterious cords clears the way for the reveal of the archpriest. The corpse multiply blood pours out the viewer, and soon the question arises not about the salvation of a particular soul, but about the fate of the whole world. Purely mechanically, Fate is an action-adventure game with a top view. The control is minimalistic to the point of impossibility and reminds not even an 8-bit games, but of the themes of Atari. We have a crossbar for moving and one single action button. It would seem that one basic of such scheme you can make any interesting gameplay by today's standards. With a smart design, you can. In addition to the standard for adventure game exploring of location, collecting notes that clarify the plot, and solving puzzles, a significant part of gameplay is battles with monsters, and the local combat managed to keep the tension to the minimum even with the general slowness of gameplay. John doesn't carry firearms, so the main weapon in his hand is a crucifix, which is quite effective in hitting the evil in a short distance. This is kind of life-giving automatic shotgun, which does not ask for bullets and works on the pure power of Fate of the Lord. But the enemies are not either. The Army of Darkness is filled with many original creepy creatures that will require the Holy Father's individual approach. Some attack stealthy and headlong rush at the pastor's head-on, some attack from a distance, some tease with deceptive movements and involve in the battle elements of the environment, and duels with bosses in general can turn into a bullet hell. That hell almost always comes from a single blow, so it's important to dodge demonic attacks in advance and learn the behavior pattern of different devils. Fortunately, checkpoints are scattered around the location quite generously, so you'll always have a chance to get a revenge. You don't have to wander around for a long time without doing anything. Every now and then the game throws up a new puzzle or dumps a creepy scene. You have to run away from the demon hiding in the mirror, or catch an invisible inhabitant of the elevator. The game is full of secrets and optional content, including optional bosses. The plot, by the way, is not linear. Each of the 3 chapters can lead to different endings, some of which allow you to look at the whole story from a new angle, but whichever route you choose. The final of the whole trilogy with the epic in any case. However, even with all the aforementioned virtues, Fate would remain just a component retro-style action-adventure game with a pretty good plot. is a warrant for a truly masterpiece artistic. Fate immediately impressed with its visuals, and that impressive achievement in an era when 8-bit graphics are commonplace. Fortunately, Mr. Adolf didn't limit himself to blindly copying the artistic of 18th games, but created an extremely original mix of old and new. Most of the passages of the game is fully distinguished as the classic adventure games from NES or low-power computers Commodore 64 level. Here you have angular pixels and square picture and interactive scanning of the image, but this is not only skillful stylization, but also a distraction. The second component of the auto style is revealed during the climaxes. Plotted third fatigue pumps out of darkness and encounters with monsters. They are presented in form of short and spectacular cutscenes with animation created in rotoscoping technique. That is, the author filmed himself on camera, playing all the characters in turn, and then redrawing everything in graphic editor. From static screenshot it's simply impossible to understand what effect it has, so do yourself a favor and watch one of the trailers. As a result, 2-time honored game test strategy are dropped on the player at once. First of all, a properly pitched pixelized horror game is pretty spectacular itself. Most fans of creepy games with a long history will agree. Where today horror games can compare in the range of the effect with the first impression of the early part of Resident Evil or Silent Hill, while the graphic science have stopped forward. But when picture is devoid of details, the consciousness itself, the shape of the monster and the imaginary image can scare than the most realistic zombies and xenomorphs. The flow of indie horror is retro style is caused not only by the desire to save money on the development, but also the deceit to the player brain, making him scare himself, which Fate managed to do with animal consistently, but the author does not stop there. Using animation based on real videos, Adolf does a trick in the spirit of the Uncanny Valley effect, combining something instantly recognizable with something unfamiliar and alien. These clips are sometimes played at the most unexpected moment and lost only seconds, so that the player does not even have time to see them properly, but the effect of them will last much longer. The movement and grimaces of monsters resemble human facial expression and plasticity, but at the time the player sees demons with sinister grins and disfigured bodies. In addition, the smoothness of cutscenes seems unnatural against the background of gaunt graphics. Mixed signals confuse the player and make a very uncomfortable impression, akin to what you can feel when you see a human-like silhouette in semi-darkness, and just for to look closer to dispel your worries as he disappears into the darkness with a trace, and your thoughts of him will stay with you. The sound design picks up its endeavor. Classic cartoons familiar to everyone from their younger years play in background now and then, including Beethoven's Morning Sonata and Eric Satie Gnossines. But in this form you hardly ever heard them before. The animals and entire arranged are far from the unusual orchestras, which puts a barrier to instant recognition and leaves another mystery in the player's mind for a while. And all the lines of the game are voiced by a digitized robotic voice with interface and ear-cutting frequency peaks. Calm dialogues between heroes and monsters quite sound equally unnatural. This is not only confusing, but also further blurs the line between human and demonic in a really of the genre. Is anything to pick on here? Only a little thing. The evidence of text notes seems to be a generic atavism of adventure games, but to demand from the author to stick to the innovation exclusively through the environment, scenes and gameplay would be perhaps too harsh, especially since there's a couple of very effective surprises hidden in this note as well. They generally complement and intriguing plot tracks somewhat in the middle, and our unreliable narrator in the person of John proves to be even too unreliable at times. The story is not without blind spots. Something will have to be figured out by yourself, and some people don't like that. But we listen to repeat the brilliant point of the final of what trilogy is unlikely to disappoint you. Thank you for watching.